Boom, I'm live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ, the Internet Warlord, coming to you live and loud from the great state of North Dakota. You know, North Dakota is the state just south of North Dakota. That Dakota, the state formerly known as South Dakota until the Queen of Meth herself, Governor Christy Nome, declared by proclamation we're all in meth, and since then the world's never been the same. Ah! Oh, coffee. What a day. What a day. I'm just waking up, to be honest. Still kind of half asleep. Morning, Mr. Liberty. I decided to use StreamYard this morning so I could actually put comments on the screen. Hopefully that'll keep people who have low attention spans more entertained this morning. Not that I'm speaking of you or anything, I'm just in general decided that it might be better just to use the StreamYard. To sit here and bullshit chat. But hey, gotta let everybody know fresh out the gate that your boy was right and that the Attorney General, after committing vehicular homicide, felony vehicular homicide, got a slap on the wrist out here in Meth Dakota. And then people are in the comment section of some news articles. Daisy, come on, get down. People in some news articles are, not news articles, news comment sections. Daisy, this dog. They are the comment. Daisy, the comment section of some news article or news postings on it. God, I can't even speak today. Thanks, Daisy. Get me all discombobulated this morning. The comment section of the news stories that are posted about the Attorney General and even on Christy Nolan's page herself are pretty pathetic. Just people ready to regurgitate that mainstream narrative. He's going to get away with vehicular homicide. So what this does, for those of you that don't know, it is now no longer a felony misdemeanor. It's a felony. I can't speak this morning. It's no longer a felony for vehicular homicide in the state of South Dakota. If you hit somebody in the state of South Dakota with your car, and as long as you play stupid, you don't even have to really say much, because obviously I would suggest you keep your mouth shut. And again, to investigators, just be stupid. How this man became the Attorney General, you can't be as stupid as the average slave. You have to be a little more educated. I don't believe it's white privilege. I think this is a class privilege thing. I think it's easy to label it a white privilege thing. I think it's a class privilege more than it's a skin color privilege, personally. But he knew how to get out of vehicular homicide charges. He's the Attorney General for the state. So, yeah, that should be easy. Just be stupid. Yeah, absolutely. So you'd have to uh, you have to leave a body for dead, pretend that it's a deer. You have to play stupid, really. And all you have to do is say, I thought it was a deer. In any situation, doesn't matter. You can be speeding, which he was doing. You can be distracted, which he clearly was. And at the end of the day, all you have to do is say, I thought it was a deer. And you will get 3 misdemeanor charges and 0 jail time. Yeah. Look up look up 8 white identities. Oh, I'm gonna have to have a homework assignment now, Dick. Thanks. Um Again, it just blows my mind. And then there's me who's like, you guys, he's gonna get away with this. He's gonna get away with this. He's not gonna see a lick of jail. He ain't gonna do any time behind bars for the death of Joe Bofer. He will be civilly liable. Make no mistake about it. If you kill somebody with your car, you'll still be civilly liable. That's what is most likely going to happen. He's going to have to pay money out, but they've got their class of paying for the deaths of a slave worker like this is pennies on the dollar for their corruption. So I mean, he's getting a really good deal. He hasn't resigned from his position yet. He's still doing attorney general shit. Christy Noam, the queen of meth, has not even called for his resignation. She says that she's been neutral. She's not, you know, uh, doing anything in regards to the case until prosecutors make their decisions, blah, blah, blah. But I look at things as timing, and there's no coincidence that just a few days ago that he said that he's not going to be doing the Constitutional Amendment A or IM 26, which he himself previously stated that the Constitutional Amendment A, the Attorney General now, keep in mind, said that the Constitutional Amendment A is constitutionally correct, defending A, and then steps down from it. Yeah, I think there's a sweetheart deal. I think there was a sweetheart deal made. I think it's obvious to anyone with an IQ higher than, say, a house plant, a tomato, or potato, whichever one's going to float your boat for this analogy. And again, then what blows my mind is that Republicans are just going to be like, yeah, he's innocent. We got his 3 misdemeanor charges, CJ. He didn't mean to kill the guy. Well, of course he didn't have the criminal intent, but he had the criminal neglect. And the fact that he is the attorney general of the state and only getting misdemeanor charges, if I was everybody in South Dakota today, I would, 1, drive a little faster, and 2, I would make sure to memorize the defense of Jason Ravnsborg, the attorney general for the state of South Dakota. Just be stupid. Keep your mouth shut until your political alliances can come to bat for you. And then get away with vehicular homicide. I mean, it's pretty simple. He had a 5.5-month nearly investigation, only for crooked, bar card members to use loopholes in law to get him away with murder. I mean, if it had been me or you or anybody else in the slave class, you'd already be sitting in jail. How do we know that? We've got the proof. We've got how they treated a slave in Sioux Falls versus how they treated the appointed attorney general. That person's sitting in jail for 8 years and was charged and convicted. This guy is not going to see a jury. I mean, this is the utmost privilege that you can get, and it's class privilege. Again, his skin color, I cannot stress this enough. Don't fall for the stupid trap of skin color. This is a class issue. This is a privilege of position and the corruption and being. See, this is it. He is uniquely in a position where he knows the corruption of the criminals that appointed him. And so if he says anything that exposes their corruption, they'll throw the book at each other. Then they know that. It's a dead man switch. It's a, oh, hey, Christy, remember all that corruption we covered up for you on your runs in Congress and your run for governor and all the shady shit you and your husband are doing? Remember how we sweep all that under the rug for you? I think I'll take 3 misdemeanor charges and a slap on the wrist now, please. So they say these things through their liaisons, and they all know they've got dirt on each other for lifetimes. And so it's no secret to me that these criminals are going to cover each other's asses. I mean, duh. Again, this is an open discussion. If anybody would like to join, feel free to click the link in the button. It's StreamYard today, so I can keep the comments on the screen like Mr. Dick Liberty's here if I wanted to. Again, trying to keep people's attention spans, who can only be measured in nanoseconds, is a very hard, daunting task to do on a Friday morning. But as always, I appreciate your comments and participation because We're just sitting here having a cup of coffee and a conversation. Yeah. Unfortunately, this cup is so freaking old. If you leave these cups sitting in the sink to like soak, you can't do that. I learned that the hard way. If you buy a coffee mug from people, don't leave them sitting in a sink to soak. I have to tell that to everybody that buys a coffee mug. So, got the new Internet Warlord hat. I think it's freaking sick. I've got my own freaking logo on a hat. I thought it was going to turn out smaller. I was like, no, it's perfect. Stitched together all right. I mean, look at that. Doesn't get bad, huh? You missed it. You were in the dump trailer. You missed what? What did you miss? What did you miss, Mr. Liberty? Me just saying that the criminals scratched the criminal's back. You know, that Jason Roundsberg and Kristi Noem have enough dirt on each other at this point to, hey, remember all that corruption you committed? Oh, remember all that sweeping of under the rug we did and all those charges the attorney general never brought against you for your corruption? I think I'll take 3 misdemeanors and a slap on the wrist, please. And they said this to each other through these subsidiaries, through their peoples, or they already knew that they were all fucking crooked. So they had to go to this guy's defense. And Kristi knew she had to keep her fucking mouth shut because she is the most corrupt fucking person in South Dakota. And, he is the attorney general. That man hears every criminal complaint that about Kristi Noem, I guarantee you. You can't be this stupid. Not you, Dick. In general, you can't be this stupid and think that it doesn't involve cover-ups. It doesn't involve having other criminals' backs. The attorney general himself, it was a criminal prior to him killing somebody. So no, you didn't miss anything. You did not miss anything. Yes, I am over at YouTube. Hello, Adam. But again, it just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind how we can have a dead person. So there is a victim. And I am an advocate of if there is a victim, then there is a crime. And, at the end of the day, here's what they did. They said, wait, Americans are stupid, right? South Dakotans especially stupid. How many months is it going to take for them not to give a fuck? And we can just, let all the distractions happen, and then they'll just forget. They'll just, they'll think we did enough time to do an actual investigation to make a decision to come to this. And I always think about it like this: they have to convince the elderly and the school aged, so people that are in like high school, early college, that pay attention somewhat to politics because they have to jump in at some point, and then the elderly, the ones that are sitting there in those nursing homes watching Fox News, like their life revolves around wake up, eat, news. And so they have to make it so that the nursing home people will not revolt, that the college students will continue to just listen and regurgitate the narrative talking points they're told to through the media. And the fact that you can figure this out if you have an IQ higher than the houseplant, I wish I was higher than a houseplant right now, but that's another story for another day. But at the end of the day, you guys, this is straight up corruption and murder and cover up and scandal, and it's gonna just be another South Dakota. What do you expect? What do you expect? It's a fucking criminal organization. But don't worry, they care about your freedom, and they want you to be as prosperous as possible. So again, if you're just tuning in, you can legally get away with the felony vehicular homicide in the state of South Dakota just by playing stupid. and of course knowing and having dirt and being ready and willing to sing like a songbird against the queen of meth. You can do those things like that, and you belong to a class of privileged people, you too can get away with felony vehicular homicide. And it's a sad world, you know? These motherfuckers will charge people with crimes, felony fucking crimes. Think about this. If I, a combat wounded Marine Corps veteran of not one but two fucking wars, come back here to South Dakota and want to smoke cannabis, they will turn me into a felon. But if I negligently murder somebody with my pickup and just play stupid, I get 3 misdemeanors and a slap on the wrist. Does this make any fucking sense to anybody at all? Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody? Anybody at all? I mean, I can wait all day. Maybe I'm asking rhetorically. And then you've got Republicans out here who will be like, but maybe if you just say the Pledge of Allegiance and salute the flag a little bit. So, anyways. So, yeah. Really pisses me off, though, you guys. I mean, honestly, it should piss you off, too. But, you know, these are the same fucking people. They cover each other's crimes. They get a fucking way with it. They don't give a shit about you or me. Sounds like a great infomercial skit. Do you need to beat vehicular homicide? Well, actually, if I was the Attorney General of the state of South Dakota, I would use that as my commercial to get clients. Do you need to get away with felony vehicular homicide? If so, call Ravensburg and Associates. Ravensburg, whatever. Ravensburg and Associates. We'll get you off with just 3 misdemeanors and a slap on the wrist. Of course, you have to be willing to, again, blow the fucking whistle on the queen of meth like it's a goddamn rape whistle. I mean, seriously. And that's, I guarantee you. I fucking guarantee it. I mean, I'm sitting here like with morons in Governor Kristi Noem's comments. So it's like, show evidence. It's like, bitch, if you've been watching these motherfuckers for years, you don't have to just so my evidence is, do you watch them? Do you listen to them? I mean, you want me to, this is what some fucking idiots want. They want the mainstream narrative to match what I'm saying when the mainstream is controlled by the fucking government. I agree. It's a rape whistle, a rights rape whistle. You got to blow it. But again, this is where it comes back to me going, okay, Jason is a veteran himself. I'm not sure if he's been to combat. Either way, it doesn't matter, because if CJ fucking Abernathy went goddamn driving down the 10 here and hit somebody, one, the sheriff's not going to give me his pickup. Two, the sheriff is going to make sure that whatever I hit isn't in the road. They're most likely going to find the body. And three, I'm going to be sitting in a fucking jail cell by the end of the night. I'm going to get breathalyzed, not 15 hours later when it's irrelevant. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. How the fuck does the guy go from the fucking bar to the goddamn crash site in front of an officer, and they don't give him a blood test or breathalyzer until after all the alcohol would have been out of his system and is undetectable? Can anybody explain that other than the fact that it's corruption? No, nobody can, because you all cover up for each other. It's fucking criminal. The fact that I'm even live having to say this is just ridiculous. And by the way, there's a link in the description that you can click the StreamYard link. So if you are the Attorney General or the Queen of Meth, as always, you're welcome to join my live broadcast and dispute what I'm saying. Chances are you're not going to, because, you know, cowards and criminals don't like to be accused publicly of the crimes they commit. But here I am accusing you publicly of the crimes you commit. Anyways, Mercedes says, what did I stumble into? The Attorney General for the state of South Dakota got away with felony vehicular homicide, as I've been saying he would for the last 5 months. 3 misdemeanors and a slap on the wrist. Yeah, buddy. I mean, I better stop slapping myself on the wrist. The first one didn't hurt. So, yeah, just fucking crazy. And it's so crazy to me to think that, again, there are people that are going to just defend it because of their party, their political party. Just for the record, if anybody in the Libertarian Party of South Dakota had done what Jason had done and they were on, let's say, the executive committee, we would have all been calling for their resignation. First and foremost, there would have been calls for them to step away, to be removed from the executive committee, certainly while they're dealing with the legal aspect of the crime committed. Because again, when there's a victim, there's a crime. Oh my God, can you message me back? No, lady, I can't. I'm sitting here live on my phone having a coffee in conversation with the public. You want to go get a 3D ultrasound? Fine, let's go get a 3D ultrasound. Ugh, God. It's like, come on, get with the times here. Pretty sure that we know the gender of the baby, but we can't say nothing until it's official. But I will tease that out. Let's just say I'm pretty excited. So, anyways, I guess we'll see what happens in a month. So, yeah. And again, if anybody wants to join, it's open discussion this morning on Friday in lieu of the Rush Limbaugh show not being on the air right now. Too soon. Expanding the tribe. Yeah, Dick. I got a little warlord sitting in the oven waiting to go. Some due date somewhere in July. So that'll be my third. Yeah, crazy world. And that's it, by the way. I'm getting the old snip. I'm done. I'm gonna go make that appointment and get it. And you know what I think I'll do? I'll get it done maybe the week prior to the birth, and so that way we can recover together. That makes sense. So I don't need to bring any more warlords into this conversation. Speaking of warlords into conversations, good morning, Dick.
How you doing there, Mr. Abernathy?
Just kind of wondering how to get away with vehicular homicide. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say trying to wonder. I should say learning how to get away with vehicular homicide.
Yeah.
Think about it, Dick. If you hit somebody with a car and you were negligent, what would happen?
Well, I would go to jail. I'd probably get arrested. I would definitely pass the sobriety test because I don't drink. But this is kind of this similar story happened to me in Washington when I was up at Fort Lewis. I was leaving an establishment with buddies of mine. I hadn't been drinking. I had 2 beers. That's usually my limit. It's about 2. I don't go over that. And I'm backing out, and a waitress bumped into me coming around the corner. Right, so of course, call the cops, everything else. The officer showed up, and he tried to give me a ticket for DUI. He arrested me. He tried to charge me a DUI.
Wait, he didn't. Wait, Dick. He didn't let you take his car home and then give you a alcohol test 15 hours later.
As cool as people sometimes think they are, we don't really have those privileges.
So it is a privilege. Okay, it's a privilege to not be blood tested until 15 hours after, and you get a vehicle to go. So okay, so yeah, that's a privilege. Got it.
That is a privilege. That can be a class privilege. That's there's a lot of privilege involved in that. And that's why I made that comment, because we talked about that last night. That 8 white identities that are being taught now in New York, which is fucking absurd. But point being is no, I didn't get a car. I did have to take a breathalyzer. I flew a .05. Okay. which
It's under the legal limit.
under the legal limit, still got arrested and still got charged, which I beat. I beat it all, but it cost me what, maybe 500, $600.
Did you hit
And
somebody?
no, they hit me.
Oh,
They hit me as I was backing up.
so did you sit in the cage? I missed that spot.
No, I sat there with the officer for about an hour and a half and everything
So
else.
you were at least detained, cuffed, I'm assuming?
I was detained. I was cuffed. I was taken to
Okay.
the processing center, and then I was gone after about 3 hours.
No, I didn't think you heard you. Want to say hi?
So that was a prime example of being found guilty. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you this morning.
She's gonna start getting demandy. Like, where's food?
Oh man, I could learn a lot, CJ. Little Zeno will be here on the 8th of March. We got it scheduled and confirmed.
Well, let me give you some advice that we learned yesterday. Do not go a few days without brushing a girl's hair because you will regret it, right? And I would invest in detangler.
Detangler. Thank you for
Yeah.
those key
No, no,
notes.
no, no, no. Invest in it. Like,
That's in it.
buy the stock of whatever company sells detangler. Yeah. So, but you gonna get breakfast? What are you doing? I'm talking to Dick. Okay. Go ahead. So yeah, you got how many days left? You said, or about a month?
No, it's 17.
Oh, 17 days.
Should be 17. Yeah, yesterday was 18. Today is 17 days.
I'll say this: don't. I mean, okay, I did this, and I don't know if I regret it or not yet. Maybe I do. I definitely can visually remember it, but watching the birthing process, it can be a traumatic experience if you're there. You will never forget seeing what that looks like. So
Hey,
I
it
would.
can't be any worse than when I had to put a friend of mine's intestines back in his stomach. So,
Yeah,
but
I mean, okay. I guess what I'm saying is just prepare to handle that, because you think one thing and then you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know it goes like that.
well, I'll tell you the higher energy that be has been fortunate to my wife and I, and it's made our pregnancy has been great. She has placenta previa, so we have to have a C-section so that we don't have any hemorrhage or any bleeding like that. So that part is going to be much easier than I'm sure what you experienced. But I do thank you for looking out for me in that respect.
Yeah, just be prepared for it. It's not like you're gonna see things that are crazy, but it'll make you appreciate your woman a little bit more when you see the trouble she's gonna have to go through.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. That means there's growth, and when you have growth and progress, you have happiness.
Yeah.
And I have the most deepest appreciation for her already. So I look forward to that growing. I can tell you that.
Right? So I mean, how many kids do you have, Dick?
I have one son. He's 14.
So this will be like 14. So man, you're doing diapers again. You're doing all these things again. That you're doing the and it's a girl, right? So
Baby girl, and I know where you're going. I think I feel like I know where your consciousness is going with this, and I have to say this will actually be my first time really being able to do this, because during my son's infancy and his bringing up, I was on one of those deployments and came back to the empty house, everything gone. You know the story. So it took me
so you
8 years
were
to get
robbed that
custody of my son back.
you were robbed that experience the
Yes.
first
So
time.
this is, you know when we transition from service and we lose the camaraderie, we feel like we lose our purpose and our emotions will shut down because of the shit we've seen or things that we've been forced to do, either by direct or indirect action, and you get that shutdown. My Miss Liberty is the one who has reawakened my emotions. She's the one who's shown me that it's okay to love and it's okay to trust. And being able to share this experience, it's just the universal reflection that for whatever reason it wasn't supposed to be there for my son on that point.
All right, here's a
Because
good
the way that the
question for you.
relationship's developed, it's beyond reproach now, and the bond that we have is amazing. So now
Oh,
this has been
I like Lindsay. Yes, she's a very lovely lady to talk to, and I'm sure she is just as strong of a partner to you. And I think that
strongest woman I've
all
ever met.
women out there that can take a man and show them love and affection in a way that can change their opinion on the world for sure.
So I'm so looking for, and it's inspired me. We talked about this last night. We had a late show last night. We had to take care of some crew members and handle some things, but I closed out the show last night and started next week, and random little 5-minute videos. I'm going to be doing 52 things children need from dads. 52 things kids need from dads. So every day I'll read a little passage in an experiment because part of the journey too is I've kept a journal. My wife and I both kept a journal. Been writing to Xena throughout the pregnancy about the experiences and everything we're doing, and how much we love her, and telling her about her day, and all that good stuff. So we have stories to read to her when she's home, and things like that.
What do you think about parents that create their babies' TikToks?
I think that is the parent trying to fill some void in one of their innate needs, whether it be significance or value or variety, and they're using the child for that. I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing because it takes you. I,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm kind of torn on that. You know what I mean?
I
I
mean,
think
I mean, some of them I've seen that it's like more like a documenting things that your baby will never remember.
okay.
Funny little ways. I don't know. I've been on
I
this
think that's
TikTok
cool.
kick lately.
I think that's cool, but I think that has the danger to lead to the addiction, that emotional addiction created uh, from the likes and from the shares, and it takes the real value out of what you're doing.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been on TikTok. I think like 2 weeks now. Made a few videos myself. It's a great way to break down messaging into 60 seconds or less. But it's the same thing. You're going to talk about what issues you care about and the things that matter to you. And yeah, man, I get about as many views there as I do here. So
Yep.
it's not to me. It's more about, well, am I staying true to what I say? Because at the end of the day, if even if any one video can blow you up to where you have an audience. So keeping it in context of your character is important. And then, I mean, it's a creative expression, no doubt. It's different than Facebook or long talk format. But yeah, if you're not on TikTok, Dick, I'd like to see what you come up with.
I'll give that some consideration. I think it can be used very
Well, I'll put it this way: there's a whole audience there that is just, it's like the Wild West of the internet.
okay.
Except they will censor you if you violate oh, please stand. Oh, it's so cold here. It's so cold here that if you breathe in cold, while smoking, it'll cause a gag reaction. Oh, so maybe a sign I need to quit. Who knows? But let's see here. I got some comments, Dick. What do you think about cutting the umbilical cord
What do I
and
think about
clutching?
that? That's the same thing where your stem cells come from. I think that it's not, from what I've read in different uh, cultures, it's typically considered better to leave the umbilical cord on for a short while after the child is born. It's also considered better not to bathe the child right away. It's okay to wipe them down, but the first thing should be securing the latch onto the mother for your attempted breastfeeding, because that's what really, you have the bond, but that's what just instantly locks that connection and that bond there. So I say that's up to you personally and your choice. I think it's a little bit better to leave it on for a few before you just go and cut it off. And then in my tradition, being Nordic, we would not even use the father would connect by actually biting the umbilical cord to separate it.
Well, eventually they go from babies to making their own cereal. So
And that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Well, one step at a time. And it's a lot of days of you making a little breakfast for sure and showing them step by step how to do it. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, man, being a dad is to me one of the most important things you can do in your life.
And one of the most fulfilling. We were talking
So
about that yesterday in a conversation on the way back. We were listening to Denzel Washington, and he put it great because they were trying to. They keep trying to bring up the race issue and the color issue and everything else. And he's like, listen, yes, we're blaming the system, and I agree with him to that extent. But we're also not blaming ourselves. When you don't have a father in the home, you don't have a mother in the home. The streets is where the children go to find their father. And then, like you said, then the mother becomes the court system for them, and then the prison becomes their home. And that's the metaphorical representation of the mother father currently in this culture, the way we're going. And when you have these platforms that people are, creating this emotional addiction, we're designed to essentially get you addicted so that they can profit from your data. We sit and do nothing about it. It's ridiculous. So if you want to make a change, start in the house. Start as a father. Be
right,
the example you want your kids to be. Don't just talk about the example you want them to live. Because when you just talk about the example you want them to live, it's empty words and they have nothing to quantify what you say.
right.
And on that note, we
So,
think.
hey, before you do go, Dick, there was a thing you sent me to ask about helping to promote. So I was kind of wondering what that was all about and what you want to tell everybody about it.
Okay, the piece I sent you was for March for TVI so that you could have obviously all the information. If you have an interest or know anybody that might be here that I don't know that could benefit from this event, that'd be amazing. The March for TBI is going to be held on March 4th. It's going to be at 431 East Colonial Drive in Orlando. It's International Plaza. We have World Beer sponsoring, providing the outside deck and patio. We have half the farmers market area that's used there. It's all open. We have Florida Adaptive Sports. We have the VA. We have VA neurologists coming. We have um, live art therapy. We have live yoga. We got yoga therapy. We got the music, live music with the Trees of Life, the intercostals. We're going to be giving and donating an eye therapy pool, which is used for people who have disabilities to do low impact in water training that can be set up anywhere. It's mobile. That could go to a therapist or whatnot. And all the money raised for that raffle, because it was donated by Alice Trotta and Solo, Seniors Overcoming Life's Obstacles. And I have to say this too, because I read this message. Alice, my thoughts and prayers are going with you. The whole Dig Liberty team is going with you, and you and Mike. The money that we raised from that in the raffle and the giveaway, we're going to donate to Mike because he's going through procedure and having some issues. So she doesn't know that. Nobody knows that. This is the first time I'm announcing it. So thank you for letting me do that. I really wanted to get it out. Registration is free. If you have suffered TBI, spinal cord injury, you're absolutely free. We're gonna have the vendors there. I'm gonna do a little quick shout out to the vendors coming up later today or tomorrow, and it's just a great event. This is
If
gonna be so
if
awesome.
people can't make it, let's say they want to support, they can't make it though. How can they help support from a distance?
Great question, because I always forget that. We do have an online event on the day of the event. I got 50 free viewerships to go away, to give away. And then I'm going to give those away. If you are interested or want one, just PM me, and I'm going to give the first 50 away for free. Everybody else is going to be 99 cents. And the only reason it's going to be 99 cents to watch the live broadcast and the interviews with the neurologist and city commissioner and all those people is because every bit of that 99 cents from the viewership is going directly to the survivors and those who attend for adaptive programs, adaptive equipment, and
And
therapy.
there'll be a way to support past the 99 cents, I'm sure, as well, with a
Yeah,
donation link
yeah.
as well.
It's just a buck. We're not trying. We're just trying to raise awareness, and we want to provide and give more of these resources to our veterans and to the survivors of brain injuries and spinal
Yeah,
cord.
there's a lot that people can learn from you, Dick, on how to network and to help be a part of these kind of events. And And I know as I move forward with Veteran Liberty Network, I'd really like to work with you on how you at least network and pick your brain on that in the future to help that nonprofit as well. So
Here's the
uh,
key. Here's what I do. And this is what I tell everybody. I don't focus on the perfect result. Okay. I focus my energy on the progress to get to the result and let it unfold. Because if I focus on the perfect end result, 9 times out of 10, and this is a general common pattern. Remember when I said that the answers are in the patterns? 9 times out of 10, you self sabotage your event, your networking, you create doubt for no fucking reason. No reason. All right, so pure intent, you stay focused. Everything comes together.
absolutely beautiful to hear it like that, Dick. And and like I said, I admire your skill in networking and how you go about your business to help support the cause you care in. And I wish this event all the success, and I'll be looking forward to March 4th, at least being able to watch online. I do know that I need to figure out how to get to Florida at some time in the near future. We got to hang out again, Dick.
Yeah, we do. And we'll talk about that a little later, man. But we're getting ready
Well,
to
hey,
jump into
I'm gonna give you a little announcement here. I'm gonna be getting with Joey Lee, Platoon 420. She's been tasked with doing a smoke out event in DC in April, and she's asked me to help produce the content from there.
Okay.
We don't have all the details just yet, but if you're looking to do something super awesome in April, DC is gonna be where it's at this year. So
All right. I will
uh,
definitely let you know what we got going on, and we'll make more plans toward that, man. And let me know how I can support it.
well, until then, Dick, you got 17 days until or so, counting until your little baby girl's here. So if I don't speak to you until then or after, congratulations, and keep us posted and let us know how it goes. And I'm excited for you, man.
We'll do. And thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Love you, man. You guys are awesome. Love your family. Hope you guys do well. Have a
We'll
good
see you
night.
later, Dick.
All right.
Dick Liberty, everybody. Really glad he was able to hop on there. I love talking to Dick. Well, I should say Lindsay's dick. She's got a good dick. Um, anyways, that's a whole nother day for a whole nother conversation. Mike says people watched him smash a mole hole with an excavator bucket on TikTok for 3,650 times. Yeah, or 36,500 times. Whoops. Okay, I'm watching. Go feed your child. She fed herself. We teach her how to feed herself. Good morning, Mr. Gill again. All right. Well, there was a comment up here from You've Been Trolled, or You've Been T-rolled. A viewer of Adam versus the Man there. Oh, that's cool. I see that now. It says you're taking the whole situation completely wrong, CJ. I'm assuming this is in discussion with the Attorney General. The man is the reason you have roads. If roads caused a few folks' lives, at least we have them. Yeah. I disagree with that fundamentally, but yeah. So, anyways, you gonna drink all that milk? I mean, you basically just put a half a gallon of milk in your bowl. Did you need that much milk? Yes. Oh, you love warm hugs. Yeah. Anybody else before I go? It's 45 minutes into this thing. There's still time for somebody else to hop on. She needs help. Dad, Aubrey, do you need help? Do you need help with your breakfast? No. Okay. You didn't even. Wow. This girl is definitely my child. I'm crazy.
I mean, we know.
Mm. Do you want to have a baby sister or a baby brother?
Baby brother.
A baby brother. That's what she wants. You think you're gonna have a baby brother? Mm. I have to go cook bacon. Have dinner, CJ. Whatever. What dinner? This early?
Mm-hmm. Maybe leftover pizza?
No, leftover pizza. That's probably what I'll have for lunch today.
Did you eat breakfast?
I'll probably have a donut.
A biggest donut?
You're getting milk in your hair. Nobody else comments? I can put them up on screen. Get them in. Pizza is definitely breakfast. Yes, it is, Mercedes. It is definitely breakfast. If you want it to be. That's for sure. Anybody else got anything better than pizza is breakfast this morning? Or, I mean, is that going to be the most intelligent thing coming out of the comments today?
Or cereal? What?
You're getting milk. You're getting your hair in the milk.
I don't.
Okay, I don't care. Okay. Okay, you will when you gotta get crusty hair. When you have crusty, milky hair, and it starts to smell, and then it gets tangled, and then it gets knotted
A lot?
and gross.
I'm done with my milk.
Let's see.
I don't want my milk.
You don't recognize me? I'm also a part-time viewer of yours, Mr. Statist or Will. Oh, well, I didn't know you changed your name again, Will. How am I supposed to figure that part out? Good morning, Mercedes.
Oh, hi. I look like hell.
I've seen it. You don't look like hell.
Oh, yeah. What, you've seen hell or you've seen me look like
You
hell?
look like
Because
a mother who's about to cook breakfast.
I am. Look, I wasn't going to make dinner. Yeah, hi, CJ. How are you?
That thin bacon?
Thick cut is.
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought it said thin cut. I was like, oh, who has thin cut bacon? You might as well just go to hell yourself if you have thin bacon.
Thin bacon? I can't say that. It's racist.
Yeah, well, Matt's here.
Matt. I love Matt.
Yeah,
Matt's my favorite. Sorry, I didn't have a knife. So my stove is on one side. Oh, you can see my ring light.
Yeah, you can.
Pigs.
Why would you have a ring light on?
Because, okay, so it's the ring light and the stand for my phone so that I can cook hands-free, and my light above my stove may or may not be burnt out right now.
Oh, okay. Got it. So you're improvising, adapting, and overcoming.
I'm being a redneck, yes. Oh, God, where did you go? There you are. And
so what do you think about the South Dakota Attorney General getting away with felony vehicular homicide?
I think he and my mother would be great friends. Where's my coffee? Gosh bless it. Did I drink it all? I don't need it anymore. Only had one cup. I think that your governor is also trying to overturn the ballot initiative your state voted on. And I think she's doing that because it got more votes than she did.
Ooh, don't shove that in.
I'm in Nebraska. She can't get me.
I mean, at the end of the day,
she's still the queen of Meth Dakota, and she's trying to take your weed. At least she's not trying to take your guns.
Okay, but Mercedes, okay, yeah, I'm glad she's not, because I'm going to use those guns to shoot anybody that tries to stop me from using cannabis when I want.
Isn't it nice not being a candidate and having coffee in the morning?
It is. I can say things like you'd expect a warlord to say, I will kill and vanquish my enemies.
I I won't say kill because I don't want anybody to die because
No,
living
I
is
want the
much
words
more painful.
I want the words premeditated
No.
at my court trial.
Oh,
if I have
yeah,
to.
those are already there because my mom's an attorney now, which is why I said.
Dad can kill him with his gun.
Yeah, see, even she knows. And guess
From the
what?
mouth of babes comes truth.
Guns don't kill people.
People kill people.
People kill people.
What is that? Hold on. That sounded like a back door. Oh,
But
so we have ice falling off the house because, or that was my child slamming doors because she's a teenager. Yep. My toddler's slamming doors. Excuse me, ma'am.
okay,
Are you slamming doors?
I guess I shouldn't say kill. I guess I should say I will vigorously defend my constitutional rights up to and including taking the lives of those that would try to violate them.
No, Rooster. Yes. I am all about defending my person and my family and my
Nothing that I am
life.
saying to be construed as I am going to use offensive violence.
There you go.
against
Here you
anybody.
go. Sorry, I pissed off my toddler because I took the dog out of her room when I checked on her, and she did not like that because she's a little authoritarian.
I mean, that's your fault, though.
Is it, or are toddlers chaotic and you do what they want?
No,
Yes, it's my fault.
That's your fault. I was gonna say there's definitely a your fault in there.
Okay, but she slept in her bed last night, so really I'm winning.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when they get past that phase where they have to be sleeping next to you.
No, I was in bed with her.
Oh, it's nice when you get to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not at that point. We gave her, yeah. Well, so you see the green bulb, you know what that is. It's the booger thing. And so we've been dealing with that kind of bullshit, and it's just not. Oh, hello, ma'am. Are you excited for your new sibling?
All by myself.
I know, I heard you put a lot of milk in it too.
No. She sleeps in her bed all by herself.
Oh, she sleeps in her bed, not just gets her breakfast. That's because she's a big kid.
She's getting independent. That's what's happening.
I'm a 6-year-old. 6 years old.
Oh, we lost your audio, Mercedes.
Yeah, that's because. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my husband's calling me. That's why. Why is my husband calling me?
He's probably saying get the bacon ready.
Well, probably. I'm making breakfast quesadillas. What? Breakfast quesadillas with my creamy salsa.
You hear this? She's just getting hungry. That's all this is.
Yep. Yeah. And I don't know what I'm gonna do if we're gonna have beans. So I like refried beans because I'm Mexican, right? Like, you have beans for breakfast, but I also like baked beans for breakfast because I'm white as well. I'm white as heck, and so I make refried baked beans. And that's all I need anybody to know. So I'm actually probably going to call my husband back.
All right. Well, you got the floor. Anything you want to tell everybody?
Join the Guillotine Caucus.
Yeah, hey, you can always promote the Guillotine Caucus, which, by the way, we do have I would say at this point, a celebrity from the LMC in the Guillotine Caucus.
Oh yeah, and Carol Ann Harlow.
Yeah, if you like the secretary for the party, she's a subscriber of the Guillotine Caucus. Remember, we don't endorse anybody for any position or office.
No,
that's the opposite of the Guillotine Caucus's motto.
And just mind everybody, so everybody's aware. Just because I'm the voice of reason doesn't mean I like it. Just so everybody is aware of that little thing.
It is a crazy world when you call yourself the voice of reason.
And that's what I mean is, if I'm being the voice of reason, it's not because I want to, it's because I'm trying to keep us alive.
I wonder if it's more like the voices of reason.
No, there's just one in here.
Oh, okay. Sure.
There's just the one. I know, because I talk to my shrink a lot. Oh, my bacon needs flip. I cook my bacon on low because it's thick and I don't want it to burn, and I want it to be perfect because I've been cooking breakfast for people for money for how old am I? 30? 15 years.
Oh, well, I'm
You
sure
know.
you're a good cook then. I couldn't cook my way out of
Yes.
life.
That's why I went into politics, because I was tired of hearing people bitch about shit. And when I asked them to run for office, they said no. And I said, fine, fuck it, I'll do it.
Oh, you're like Thanos. Fine, I'll do it myself.
It's more like Bane,
Ah, okay.
Mexican
Gotcha.
Joker, only instead of using my powers for evil, I'm using them for good. I'm not burning down buildings.
That's how every villain starts and believes that they're in the right.
You know, Poison Ivy wasn't all that bad if you want to think about it. Mexican Joker has a reason to exist, obviously. Otherwise, the government wouldn't put it in South Park.
I'll just let you end it on that note. Mercedes,
Okay,
I'll
bye.
click you in today. We'll see you later. All right, Mercedes, everybody. Premeditated insanity, absolutely. Extinguish any threats to life and liberty, absolutely. Beans, the musical fruit. Mr. Gilligan asks, who committed vehicular homicide? That would be the Attorney General for the state of South Dakota, Jason Ravensburg. And he got 3 misdemeanors and a slap on the wrist.
Wow.
Because, you know, criminals get away with criminal stuff when they're involved in criminal organizations. So, yeah. Anybody else got anything before I go? Comments, clicks in? I got at least another 50 minutes until I gotta be gone today. So you got plenty of time to take your comments, questions, concerns, complaints, gripes, and whines, or comments that are at least relevant. I ain't got a blow on nose, huh? Oh, I want to show everybody a trick real quick. To everybody that's in Texas, if you're not from Texas, you can just tune out for 30 seconds. If it gets below freezing to the point where your pipes might burst, that would have stopped all of your pipes from exploding. Just that. This has been a public service announcement. And if you didn't know before, at least you know now. Oh, thanks, Aubrey. You're just so nice and kind. And I'll spare everybody this. No, I guess I didn't need to blow my nose. Ugh. So, anybody else want to call in? But when I'm live, I can't text because I can't, it'll take away the stream here. Hello? McFly. I already said yes. If you were watching live, you'd hear me say, okay, let's do that. McFly, hello. What are you coloring now?
Coloring something.
She's coloring something.
Mm.
Among Us?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So, anybody else got anything before I go?
Or you magic it away.
Before I magic away?
Yeah.
Coffee's getting cold.
And you should drink it. Oh.
You should add more. Nobody's got anything else before I go. No brain noodle thoughts. Just everybody's all set for today, huh? I will when I push the button.
It's getting cold right now.
I understand that. We don't have an income tax in South Dakota.
There's a sticker on here.
Yeah, but when you leave this soaking in water, it
Just vanish away.
it peels off, so you can't leave cups in water.
Well, only that one that doesn't have stickers on it.
Yeah. Nobody's got anything? All right, let's see here. You've been T-rolled, Will, now that I know it's Will. That's why I want to be sheriff. If the DA can run over a man, who knows what I can do, just as long as I don't arrest too many Hispanic folks. Well, That's interesting. Ah, federal tax. Yeah, no, I don't plan on participating in their taxes anymore. And there's several reasons why. First and foremost, they always take it. Second, at the end of the day, I don't believe that I have any representation inside the government. So that would be taxation without representation, and I don't consent. So I won't be advocating for anybody to be paying any taxes anytime soon. Consumption taxes. As a libertarian, I'm okay with a consumption tax, but that's like iffy. Like you could probably debate me off of it if you had a really good argument. So far, nobody's had a really good argument. Other than, again, no taxes would be better. Mike!
So far, nobody's had it.
But that's like iffy. Are you listening to me?
Am I listening to you? Hold on a second. How are you, CJ?
It's a Friday, Mike. I'm just sitting here having a cup of coffee, trying to have a conversation, try to figure out a little bit what's going on in this crazy world.
Yeah, it's just too much to talk about. You can't pick a topic, huh?
You know me, I could bounce around to 80 topics in a broadcast, but what you got today? We'll go with what you want to talk about.
Well, I have a lot of things on my mind, but I don't know. I don't know if I have too much faith in man anymore. But you know what I mean? There's so many ideas that I have that I'd like to get involved with that I get discouraged and I don't do anything.
That is a problem. Yeah, you want to try to keep your plate as manageable as possible and try not to take more than you can handle at a time.
I mentioned that. I mentioned the income tax issue was because I've done a lot of research on it the last year or two, and I don't understand how something so simple, and if you read the code, how I can remember as a young man in my first job, I'm like, how come I'm giving the government money? What for? What am I giving it to them for? What are they doing with it? And isn't it a right? Don't we have a right to work? Can you tax a right? And it looks like
that's a great question, huh?
And the thing is that I'm a member of the Freedom Law School, and the president is Payman Montehede, and they're out of Florida. And I'm a Royal Freedom Package member, and I stepped away from it. I stopped it, and I'm a retired cop. I'm collecting a pension from the largest police fund in the country, the New York City Police Pension Fund, and I battled with them and my congressman and the two senators in my state, Gillibrand and Schumer. I sent them a redress of grievance letter with the help of Freedom Law School about the income tax and how it doesn't apply to me and 98% of the American public. And, the people who make the laws can't tell me what the law is.
Right. And that brings me to a question, Mike. So where does that pension fund come from?
That pension comes from the contributions of members of the New York City Police Department.
Right. So, but that
and the matching funds the city puts in it.
So there's taxes within that pension fund, correct?
I guess you could say that. Yeah. I mean, it's
right. So here's my question. This is what my question was in the Marine Corps. When I was in the military, they would take taxes, right? Mm-hmm. And whatever state you were a resident of, you'd pay that tax or whatever it may be, right? So now that income comes from tax money, and then it gets taxed again. Isn't that like a double dip?
Well, I guess you could say it is, but, you know, it's different.
We're losing you, Mike.
Right.
Lost you
There
there.
must be the snow and ice here. It's starting to snow again. Sucks.
Yeah,
But
we got you now.
yeah, the bottom line is that if anything associated with Washington D.C., the federal government, you're going to get taxed. The military is one of those aspects. Everybody else in a state, which is a separate country within the union, it doesn't. We're not subject to it, and we've been tricked to be subject to it. And you know what I really realized is words can be used against you, and words in law don't necessarily mean the same thing as the words in your dictionary, and Congress specifically put in definitions in the code. Words you think like wages, it means one thing in the dictionary, but it means a totally different thing in law. And
Right, but
and
you
it's
call a conspiracy theorist if you point this out.
well, it's not. It's matter of fact, because you could look it up. It's in the code. You could look it up, and it's not the same definition. The Congress specifically wrote the definition, and so it's there. And people.
I agree.
I don't understand even today. If we there's so much despising. We despise our government, and people will still go to work and pay taxes through their employer who are not lawfully obligated to do so. You could opt out of it, and you might have to educate your employer because they're not mandated to do it. There's no law saying that they have to take taxes from your pay.
Right,
And,
but wouldn't they get fined though? I mean, that's what I could hear an employer saying, "Well, if I don't take taxes from you, I'll get fined myself, or I'll be put out of business."
How could you? That's just a threat by the government.
I know that's making all employers enforcement agents of the government.
Yeah, but once you understand what the code says and how you could show them in their own words that it's the burden is always going to be on them. There'll be a fight, but you'd win the fight, and and that's the problem, the ignorance of the American people today. We do mostly things today that because somebody told us we had to do it. Mom and dad said you had to pay taxes when you get your job. You had to file before April 15th. And nobody's ever really read the law.
Well, you could end up like John McAfee sitting in a foreign country jail cell because the U.S. government says you're a criminal.
What did McAfee do?
Not pay taxes.
Yeah, both. That's the other thing. McAfee was. You see, you have to understand the circumstances of where he's probably coming from. I mean, I don't know.
I take his quote, Mike. His quote then when he ran for president was, "I paid millions of dollars in taxes, and I did not receive millions of dollars in services, and I'm not going to keep paying."
Well, that was the wrong approach to take, because he's not really. Him or his CPA or lawyers haven't taken the time to read the code. I mean, it's very simple. None of them. There's no tax lawyer or CPA that can tell you what the law is. You ask them, and they go, "The 16th Amendment," and the 16th Amendment, through the Supreme Court, says that no new taxes were created by the 16th Amendment. No new taxes. You know what I mean? It supposedly made direct taxes without apportionment. But then the courts that got involved, and they said,
right when you always get to the good stuff, Mike, it always cuts off. Yeah. And then they said,
they don't want to hear my voice. I guess, I don't know.
Nah, so just you go to and then they said.
And then they said, I'm getting old. I can't. If I lose my trend, I start to get flaky. But anyway, The whole thing is that then the court said the income tax is an indirect tax, or based on a privilege, And that's impossible because you have a right to work, and it's not a privilege. It's a right, and you can't tax a right. So there's this
Okay, what about
battle.
the right to travel?
Well, that's the other thing they've gotten away with too. They've gotten away with that as well. You know what I mean? And we have a whole culture of police that have been, trained to fee grab for people not having license plates or
Right.
for
I have a
speeding.
Class A license. I have a Class A license in South Dakota. When I first got to South Dakota, I thought that this was the state that loves freedom and the Constitution. So I asked about my right to constitutionally travel, and that getting a license is restricting my right to travel. And the sheriff basically told me that if he pulls me over without a license and insurance and registration, that he will ticket me. And so I got one under threat of coercion and under duress, threat, fraud, and coercion. So I do carry an active driver's license, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't pay any of these state, thefts that they have in their schemes. But at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
I've done that. I attacked the. I got tickets for one of those red light cameras. A judge threatened me 5 times with contempt of court because of my argument, and basically was threatening me with his gavel, put it up over his head, slammed his desk. He says, "I'm going to hold you in contempt. Look at Mr. Gilligan. He's smiling and joking at the court." And I'm like, "Is that breaking the law?" I was laughing at him. He didn't like that, you know what I mean? But unfortunately today, in order to fight stuff, people are going to have to be willing. Like this whole family court stuff. Like I still get, I have my own opinion about that. It's a failure of a movement. It's really is a failure of a movement. And the bottom line is that we got these so-called advocates in the movement that want to unite the forces of men and women to come to Washington and do this, and it's not going to work. Just not going to work.
I wish it would. Don't get me wrong. I wish in a perfect world we could, but there are. Think about it. In a $50+ billion at this point in the time, I'd bet you it's more like $60 billion due to inflation over time. But I've always questioned that number to begin with. But let's just say 50, $60 billion. You don't think that they have law firms and bar members that are dedicated to infiltrating anybody that or any group that would be for family law reform and constitutional right restoration in a court system? Of course there are. And so
it's business.
That's what I was gonna say. So you can have all the noble intentions in the world. You can create a group that is truly meant to and designed to try to promote something good for the betterment of the country, but it won't matter because it will be infiltrated. It will be messed with from the inside out, and any one compromise will be used to discredit an entire group. So I mean, that's my opinion in the so-called family law movement. I've been saying for years it's more like a bowel movement than an actual movement.
What really needs to happen is that, and this is just my opinion, is that individual parents need to educate themselves on how to go into court, and they have to know how to speak, and we have to change the court etiquette, and the court etiquette's got to be that of not cooperating with the system and telling them, no, we're not doing this anymore. And we have to say to them without having somebody speak for me and making me a baby in the courtroom, a ward of the court, And it has to happen across the country, individual courtroom.
And we're losing Mike again. Mike, if I was you, I would call. If I was you, I'd call your internet provider and ask them for an upgraded internet package.
Yeah, it's not even mine. So it's but anyway, how come you don't do this more often? Your own little thing.
Because I've got Adam versus the Man, and then I'll be starting up here in March with Cash and War is Hell broadcast with the Veteran Liberty Network. Honestly, I mean, I've got so much on my plate that I had to put my own stuff on the back burner. I'll still wear my own merchandise, but outside of that, I just, it's like today, I kind of got asked, if I was going to do a conversation about the Attorney General and last night, and I figured I'd put my thoughts out on it this morning and see if anybody wanted to have a conversation. But
How come he's still in his position?
Corruption. I mean, he knows all the crimes. He knows where all the bodies are hidden. He knows who's done all what criminal activity, and he made a sweetheart deal. Because they knew it. They either gave him a sweetheart deal on getting off on felony vehicular homicide, or he was going to go into a jail cell whistling all the crimes that the government commits. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to take your Attorney General and stick him in Gen Pop, where he can just start telling all the crimes to all the fucking convicted people and get them all off on all their crimes or be killed. I mean, no, they're not. That's that class privilege that he's got, and he can literally get away with murder. So, I mean, we've learned that this sets the precedence to where vehicular homicide is no longer a felony in the state of South Dakota. So, if you do hit somebody, just claim you thought it was a deer, and ask for the Attorney General, defense. They just set a legal precedence to make vehicular homicide a misdemeanor and no longer a felony.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, imagine that would happen in New York. Imagine if you run somebody down speeding in New York City and killed them and left them for dead, and you were the Attorney General and you then get away with just 3 misdemeanors. Everybody in New York would be, and nobody would worry about felony vehicular homicide anymore.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we lost the governor because he had sex with a prostitute. So it could happen.
Which now it's legal. Now it's not. It's at least not criminal anymore.
Yeah, it's not criminal anymore.
Yeah. Does this make any sense? What world are we living in where these people get away with it, but yet the slaves are treated like you step out of line, you hit somebody with a car, you sleep with a prostitute, it's game over.
No, I'm hey, listen, I'm all about the action, and I just tell them like it is, and they don't like it, and I don't know. We need more people.
Are you of this mindset? If there's no victim, there's no crime. Right when the questions go to.
That's the and that's the way you have to approach almost everything. When somebody accuses you of something, you have to. The system today puts the burden on us when the burden is supposed to be on our accuser. And we have to learn how, and the attorneys that represent us will go along with that format. And, that's why you have to push them aside and say, sometimes have you say, listen, I signed plea of guilty here. Can you do me a favor, Your Honor? Can the prosecutor or the petitioner show me the evidence they have that establishes a prima facie case against me, and that, that you have jurisdiction to hear this in this courtroom? And 9 times out of 10, they don't have dick. They don't have anything.
They don't throw you in a cage until they can figure out how to either kill you or make you comply.
Yeah, but then you have the court by the nut hairs, because the judge has got to make a decision. He's going to try to enter a plea for you, and you're going to keep refusing and say, "Listen, I'm trying to attempt to plead guilty here." You know what I mean? So what do you can't show me the evidence, and I'll sign the plea of guilty.
Well, here's my question. In this case with South Dakota, the Attorney General hits a man and kills him. but nobody is speaking on behalf of the man that was murdered. He can't go to court himself and accuse the attorney general of murdering him.
What's his family saying
No,
about
his family is running it. There's going to be a civil case, but there ain't nothing they can do with a criminal case, and they're going to get significantly less because it's a misdemeanor, 3 misdemeanors, and not the felony it should have been.
Was alcohol or drugs involved?
We don't know because he was tested 15 hours after the incident.
No, he should have had. Did he have his license taken from him?
No, he didn't. In fact, the cop actually gave him his car to drive home that night.
Really? Yeah. That's politics. Said it's the fear of the cop. Like, I mean, I'm not giving an excuse for the cop, but you know what I mean. It's it's got to be on video somewhere. Everybody's got video cameras on them, So was
And
that?
you'd think that would be released to the public.
Somebody will foyer it to death, and
right.
Sooner or later it'll come out.
They should, and you would think that there would be a dash cam, that sheriff's vehicle would have a dash cam turned on, that we could see what happens when he pulls up.
Right.
That could be analyzed frame by frame by frame, and we could hear the conversation, what led to him getting a police vehicle to drive home that night.
Is he a Republican?
Of course.
Yeah. I would have my papers in and say, I couldn't effectively do my job now after, something like this happened, unless it was a legitimate accident. And if it is, why not just show the evidence that it is?
Well, first off, he lied in his 911 call and said that he hit something in the middle of the road. The operator implied it was a deer, and he just kind of went with it. And then the investigation happens. Turns out that he had crossed the white line and was actually on the shoulder of the road when he hit Joe Bover. Joe Bover had a flashlight on him. So all these signs point to reckless and distracted driving, which led to a vehicular homicide to any other normally sane person. But they said it was wasn't.
He fell asleep.
Not that he had stated, no.
And so he left the scene not realizing what he hit. And so they didn't catch up with him until 15 hours later?
No, so he actually went back to the scene of the crime with the sheriff, and that's when they found the body.
Why would he? So he left, he hit something, he left, he went home, and then came back?
Yep. We call that returning to the scene of the crime.
That means his mind was fucking with him big time, and that, yeah, he probably made some phone calls.
I hit a pheasant in Wahpeton, North Dakota. I promise you, I didn't go back and look for it. Yeah. I could see at 70 miles an hour that I hit a pheasant. I was in the middle of the road, and a pheasant just swoops across the road and bang, it shatters my window. And if you look at the damage of his vehicle, there is no way he didn't know he hit a person if he was paying attention to the road. Again, another sign of reckless driving, which leads to vehicular homicide. So
what about, there's just no pressure from the political party for him to resign?
No, Kristi Noem did not request his resignation, and it's been 5 months since this happened. He's still doing his job today.
Yeah, he
knows the state secrets. He's a veteran himself. He knows how to play stupid, and he knows how to play smart. So at the end of the day, he figured out in his mind how to get away with vehicular homicide. And I'll bet you it involved that typical South Dakota corruption style of, hey, you want to get me for felony homicide? Okay. Hey, Kristi, I promise you won't be governor a day after I get charged. I'll blow every secret.
Yeah, I think but all our politicians have have been blown up.
Right,
Somebody's
but
got
there's
something
an
on.
attorney general who knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah, but he's also got to answer to somebody. It's such an insidious thing and so dangerous. It's you know
Mm.
you know.
Well, come to South Dakota sometime, Mike. You can hit a person in the middle of the road and get a slap on the wrist.
Hey, listen, I was a police officer. I directed
No, even
traffic in front.
on the side of the road. You can hit him on the side of the road. You can cross the white line. And
I
you
got
can
hit with
say,
I got
you
hit
can
by a
say, I
bus.
don't consent to a breathalyzer, alcohol test, or any form of test until 15 hours after. The
Yes.
precedent that they set in this case, if you argue it correctly, you can get away with murder.
Yeah, they should at
Mhm.
least suspend his license and forbid him from driving, and or revoke his license. You know,
Well,
and
he's driving a government vehicle to work today to go charge people that committed crimes with no victims. So how does that sound?
that's for our corrupt system. That's business as usual every day. Every day.
And that is why it is the saddest world we live in. But Mike, I'll tell you what, if this had been New York, this would have been played every single day. And in South Dakota, it was shut up and wait and wait and wait and wait. Yeah, 5.5 months to do an investigation, and every step of the way pointed to he was distracted, and this was reckless driving, and it led to a victim. Therefore, it's felony homicide. And every adult's going, yeah, that's what should happen. And then this came out yesterday.
Maybe we the people and some of us let's think about this and we should maybe guys like me we have to have develop a large group of PIs to start investigating other people and start sticking our noses into and ask questions about, hey, what happened here, and why is this way, how come he didn't do this, how come he didn't do that, and do like a you do like a 2020 thing or 48 hours or something like that. But, I thought about that for family law too. You investigate all the pathogenic parents that are keeping kids from natural parents. You go and investigate them, not going to do it. How come dad can't see his kids, Can you imagine?
It's incentivized not to.
Can you imagine all the orders of protection that would be generated from that?
Could you imagine if kids who had a pathogenic parent had somebody that would file on their behalf to restrain that pathogenic parent, and the court actually took pathogenic parenting seriously as a crime?
No, it's not good business. Because that's what it's all about. It's all business.
No. Think about it. I think that the court system got it wrong. If they were to actually, take and focus on the pathogenic parent as their vessel of profit, they would actually make more money than the non-custodial parent that they break down once. I think that they need to flip their business model.
They would incentivize those parents.
No, if the court was incentivized to actually make criminal pathogenic parenting, I think they'd make more money.
But where would the money come from? You see, the whole thing is that we've been
from the pathogenic parent. So if you want to be a alienating pathogenic parent and you want to abuse your children in that sense, then the money would then come from the rehabilitation of the pathogenic parent. And the processes that if you want to be the pathogenic parent, it's going to cost you a lot more in the end than if you're just going to co-parent successfully.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Because the way they have it now, it's foolproof.
Yeah, I know, for pathogenic parents, and again, to use the court system to their advantage.
Yeah, but see, the whole thing is that the system is set up. The pathogenic parent is just is their excuse. to do what they're doing.
Right.
That's why they have to be exposed by folks like us. I mean, they just have to be
I'm
exposed.
all for Article 3 courts deciding custody cases, where if you accuse somebody of a crime and in a civil court proceeding, it immediately becomes an Article 3 court. A jury is brought in, and if you are found innocent, then you can go back to the civil court, get damages. You can then have your rights, protected, and the pathogenic parent can then be charged with perjury and be put in a cell where they belong.
Yeah.
If only we had Article 3 courts for family courts, it would solve the problem. But unfortunately, Americans are too stupid to know what an Article 3 court is. Most of them.
And most of the folks today, the normal folks, they could care less about what's happening to other families. And
yes, and that is the price that we're paying right now for the system we have, Mike.
So that's why when you walk into a courtroom now, when the judge comes in the room, you stay seated or you stand up and turn your back. And you keep your mouth.
I'd stand up and turn my back, and that'd be about the best I'd do because I don't want to draw so much attention to myself, but at the same point, I don't want to acknowledge their jurisdiction. Yeah,
but I think you have to draw the attention, and you have to, and people have to do this all over the place in order for it to be effective. But it's about coaching these parents that have to go into family court, and it's different. The whole family court thing and the whole process. You got all different kinds of people going in there. You have to vet everybody. You have to understand that there are parents out there, CJ, that shouldn't be parents.
I agree, but then the question gets, how do you judge that? And I think the only way to protect that right, that fundamental liberty interest, is by Article 3, having a jury protecting your right when a criminal case, so for example, if let's say you're my ex-wife, Mike, and we have a kid together. Neither one of us can go into court and accuse the other of anything without knowing that it's going to get put on jury trial. And if I'm lying about you and and you don't get convicted, then I am the one liable for what just transpired.
No, I agree with you, CJ. But the other thing about it is juries is another aspect in our culture that nobody wants to do, and they don't understand the importance of it, and they don't understand that they can nullify crimes that come before the court. And they don't understand that they are the most important person in a courtroom when there's a jury trial. The judge has nothing to do with it. He's just to make sure that everything gets spoken right. But the jury,
when you take away the jury, the judge becomes the jury, and now you have a 50-50 on your side, not a 12-person panel of people saying, "Hey, wait a minute."
Now you got a guy behind the bench who's a bone smuggler, and he's got all kinds of shit, and they got him by the nuts, and they say, "You better do this, or we're going to expose you here." We have that happening here in New York. It's forget about it. We had a judge. He's off the bench because he broke into his neighbor's house sniffing her underwear. That's no joke.
Now imagine losing custody of your children because of that judge.
Oh, and it's happened. It's happened.
Oh, yeah.
It's happened.
In my opinion, these people should be executed. In my opinion, they should get the death penalty. But that's not a popular opinion yet today, so I'll just digress that point.
Yeah. They need we need to breaking some kneecaps would be good. Yeah, and just make sure you wear a mask when you do it.
Right, and then just claim that you thought you were hitting a deer.
Yeah, or hey, I was just practicing.
Yeah, you stepped into it. I don't know, but all right, Mike. Well, I've been live for an hour and a half here. Appreciate you calling in, and I'm gonna hop off here. But you're always welcome on, sir.
Stay safe, CJ.
We'll see you later, Mike. Take care. Oh man, I got 3 callers that called in today. So thanks to Dick, Mercedes, and Mike for calling in and not leaving me hanging this morning. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, this is how quickly you can be forgotten by the Queen of Meth. She'll just post out something on Facebook saying good education starts in the home. Yeah, good education, like how to get away with vehicular homicide, how to violate the Constitution and commit treason. I'm sure Christy is a master of teaching that to her children. So, with that being said, you guys, I'm going to go get ready to do Adam versus the Man. Hope you enjoy the show today. It is a Friday. I'm pretty sure we'll be doing call-in. So, if anybody wants to call in, I'm sure you'll be welcome to. Other than that, you guys have a good day or don't. You heard the girl. The choice is always yours. We'll talk to you guys later.